How's everybody doing? Are y'all doing all right? All right, good. I'm sharing with you all this asphalt texture. It's got a roughness, ambient occlusion, and just a normal mapping and the base map here. But you only have to use the base map. You don't even have to use all those. The problem is somebody's having a problem with their terrain painter where they want to paint a road and it's not a road. Well, it's a road, but it looks like grass. I've covered this before, but I always try to every now and then redo these videos with newer information than what I had then. So we're going to load the level. We're going to use West Coast as an example because I've been playing with that map a little bit. I was trying to figure out, I think I finally figured it out, how to resize them without messing up anything. I was able to do it with the West Coast, so it's got the map's twice the size it used to be, but keeping what's originally there still there, of course. You know, it doesn't mess up anything that's already there. It's just new areas you can build on now. I'm not sure why the developers didn't do that, because it's only 2K now, so going up to 4K wouldn't be out of the ordinary or nothing. I would think they'd know how to do it. But they've been adding on with just meshes. Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe because it's too much overhead, not enough overhead for that level because of all the stuff in it. It might be that having a bigger terrain block would kill some people's performance. I'm not sure, but that'd be what I might think it would be. I don't really know the impact of all these things, what they do. I mean, I got a 4080, so I don't really notice anything, really. But if I notice it's slow, then it's probably slow as hell for everybody, you know. But, I don't have much problem. I was just playing around with this, you know. Do you see that? That's not normal, right? That's the new terrain texture for the road that I made. I believe that's it. I may be wrong. Let me make sure. I don't want to tell you wrong and be wrong about it. But I think that is mine. The one I just made for this tutorial. So somebody said, well, I can't paint where I want to paint. Don't let me paint. Well, my friend, if that is you too, then this video is for you. Because we will let you paint wherever you wish. Whatever you wish, wherever you wish to paint it. You want to put some grass right there, then fine. You can put some grass right there. You can put some rocky cliffs right there. You can put some grass. That's kind of low resolution there. I just realized that. Sometimes you don't notice when you're up too close to it. So, yeah, you can paint that there. You can paint grass there. You can paint this other kind of grass there. You don't have to worry about anymore painting grass and it looking like the road. That's what I'm trying to say. Not with this technique. This is the Terry Martin art technique. No, it really is nothing to it. I ain't wasting more time of your time. Let's just get on with it. So we'll pick one of these that is not asphalt. I think they got a cement one in here. I thought they did. Or asphalt prepped. There's asphalt prepped and there's asphalt. One's just got a stronger grip. I was trying to find one that's got the old. Okay, that's the one that's normally in the game. As you can see, when you paint over the ground, it doesn't look like asphalt anymore. It looks like the overhead map. Because that's what it's showing you. It's showing you basically this map looking down is basically a texture, one big ass texture. That's the base map. When you get closer, you get to see the macro and the detail. But it's not good for people that want to make extra roads other places. Now, Spieler knew this when he made the the desert track thing. He made his asphalt do like it should. So that's all you got to do. We'll use asphalt prep since it's not actually prepped to do what we want to do. And if you pick it over here, you'll see it's got the base texture. Now what you're going to do when you download this picture for this road, you're going to want to make sure it matches your base texture size. I scaled it up to 4096. When you download it, it's only 2048. If you have to scale it, just scale it. You just replace this base texture with that one that you downloaded from me, and change the scaling, because you don't want that stretched over 2,048 meters. You'll probably want this to be about 10. Now it'll look macroed now if you get far away. That's the thing. It's going to look macroed. Yeah, you're going to see it repeating. You can make it a little bigger than that probably. You just have to kind of see. You know, the skid marks that are on here, this artwork, if your tire's about the same size, and you're probably fine. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want it to look kind of artificial. Now you're not going to see it here because this is a bunch of decals. If you do want to use that, you'd have to pick these little balls and go into the inspector and tell it to split roads, and do it with all of them. There's going to be a invisible one that's the AI, which I think is the one I just cut. You don't have to do that with that one, but all the others, if you want to get down to the actual terrain itself, then that's what you got to do. They do a good job with them decals, man. They do a good job with that. Now, if you want it to fade, you can just put in here like 5 and 5, and it'll fade at the end there, assuming you grab it again. There's a beginning and an end, and it'll fade in and out if you want it to do that. Somebody else had a video. They're working on Garfield Heights, and they had an ugly like road terrain like border. I mean, it wasn't the one they made. I'm saying it was one that didn't look good for what they were doing. And it went over the front of a driveway. Say that's the driveway, right? And it looked like crap. It might even been flickering. So if you're that fella and your decal's flickering going over that driveway, you can split it and then fade the ends of both ends that you split to blend in. Or you need to go into the material for that, which is road edge. Go to material editor and put in road edge. And go down there at the bottom where it says advanced and make sure it's set to lerp alpha. You may have to enable or disable Z-Write depending on a few things, but if it's not that, it's going to flicker like crazy when it's above another decal. That's just how these things do. When you got a decal over a decal that doesn't have an alpha channel, they fight for who's going to be getting the show and who's not. See that? As I move, you can see it right there, right? Yeah, that's because the alpha's not set. Set it and it's fine. These decals don't... The decals have a life. Like, you can only go so far with them and you'll run out of like memory or buffer or whatever. It'll stop drawing if you make it too big of a decal. Like, say you want to make a decal, we'll make this one here. We'll split this one again, and I'll show you what I mean here. Somebody's probably done tried it, made a big old thing of lava going through a map, and they got it as wide as about they could get it. I'm not sure how wide they go. Alright, it's 200. And you started stretching out the decal, and you're like, man, I love this decal. It's so pretty. And you hold a minute. Forgot about that. Wow. This thing wasn't meant to be that big. They're going to be blurry no matter what, but... So they start painting with this decal, and they make another one and another one. And then at some point, it just stops drawing. Let's give it the highest priority so it's on top of everything else. And let's change it to just a different thing, just something different. let's see. Hopefully there's one I can assign to it. There we go. And so you see it just kind of gives up after a little bit. It doesn't do anything else. So what you have to do, if you were making a decal really large like that, you have to keep splitting it. And then each part that's not split will get its own little distance that it can go. But they don't do good when you got them big like that. They start acting crazy and looking crazy. But you'll see it too with regular sized decals. If you're making like a dirt road or a dirt track and you're going around the whole track with a certain decal, you'll see it runs out, and that's all you got to do. So this here, I was just messing around. I said, what if you could dig it off the exit ramp and go over it here? How would that work out? So I was just kind of playing with it. Oh, the damn texture, that's right. Give me a minute. I'll show you all this. I think y'all like how this is possibly going to go for whoever wants to do it. I just give you the ideas. You take the ideas and go with them. I don't have time to really do much with the map making right now. I'm supposed to be working on some artwork for Valentine's Day. If I don't get it finished, well, it's going to be one shitty Valentine's Day. That's all I can say. I got to get it done. Got to get it done. My friend James. Where'd he go? He's gone. I should have put the reference nodes with him, but I didn't. Look at him testing. He said, hell with this. I'm out of here. So you can see now, you can make this map even larger and have all the terrain you need. This is just textured like that because the base texture is tiled for that over there. But you can paint this whatever you want to paint it. It ain't got to be what you see here. Now, y'all all need to know something. I got a problem right now with my textures, and I don't know what is going on with them. You can see how slow it draws. Right? If I go to the thing, it's showing me this. I've been seeing this on every level, and it's only my terrain paints. The only thing I can think is what's going on is in the terrain material library for, say, Rock Cliff, which this is the one I'm painting. Maybe it's missing one of these, because you don't have to put all these. But I thought, well, maybe I didn't fill them all in, because some of these I make, I don't put that in all of them. I just do the base texture, you know. So I thought, well, maybe it's because I got some where it's not completely done yet, which I think all these are going to have it. That's the thing. It's like, why is it giving me that damn error? It didn't used to. I'm just looking for a temp art terrain material cache. That DDS not found. And the thing is, I don't even use damn DDS at all. Not for no terrain paint. You can't. So that's kind of got me kind of confused. The only thing I can think is the game's, maybe the damn game's texture cooker is trying to take that PNG and make it a DDS, but it shouldn't because it doesn't have the naming scheme like .color, .DDS, or PNG, whatever, or .data or .normals. It don't have that. So, and I thought I used all JPEGs anyway, so maybe I didn't. I don't know, but it's a problem. Anyway, you can paint this whatever you want to paint it. So picking that asphalt prepped, the one I was getting at earlier, I didn't finish what I was saying. You can see it doesn't look like asphalt. So going to its base texture here, yeah, I did do it. I tell y'all folks, my mind ain't what it used to be. I forget things easy. Yeah, I did do it. I guess I did show y'all how to do it. Damn. I was thinking I was jabbering on all this time. I didn't do nothing yet for y'all's video. But yeah, I did explain it. But yeah, I started messing around with this thing, man. I thought, yeah, we can do something with this. So I replaced them rocks on the side with these rocks, which are just a texture. Of course, they're not an actual mesh. And I was kind of going with that to see how that kind of looked, and then I thought, nah, I don't really like that too much. So I was kind of looking up here how it would look. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So this would be kind of like the overlook, you see like the drained ocean over there or some shit, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where I was painting that now. Maybe here? I can't remember. I must have not saved. I've done some work and forget sometimes. And because all these maps got their own like unique style to them, like what looks like familiar and whatnot. Like if you take Utah and you get rid of the orange and make it like a regular brown, man, it looks like a completely different map. Completely different map. I'm not a fan of orange. I know that's what they look like, but I prefer like brown mountains. I'm like not really a fan of the orange look. If anybody hates that tool as much as I do, you got another one you can do for blending. It's called average old. It basically takes and averages out the difference between the highest and lowest point differently than the way that one does. This one will make artifacts shoot all the way up to the damn sky sometimes. It's just crazy how it does. Sometimes it works good, sometimes it don't. So like I was saying, all these maps got their own little characteristics about them that make them look like they look. But you start changing the color palette of things and giving different kinds of grass, different kinds of rocks, it kind of starts to transform it, Look like somewhere new. I'd love to spend more time on it. I like making stuff, but what I could do is just zip what I got and just share it. That way you can kind of take over where I'm at if you wanted to. Of course, I messed the road up down there at the highway, but I planned on fixing that first. I tried to export the terrain as a Kaleida and import it into Blender, and it did export it, but it took so long to import it into Blender. By the time it finally imported it, I had been out of memory, because it was just, I took a break and came back like 30 minutes later and it was still sitting there with that little blue thing circling around it. So it didn't work. It only really works good for smaller maps like 1024, 2048 the most. I managed to get Johnson Valley to its terrain block in there, and it took like 40 minutes. And you say, why would you want a terrain block? Well, that way you can make things in Blender and it fit exactly where you want it to go. You know, like very precision kind of work. I like them rocks, I guess. They come from fab.com, which I took advantage of when they were free, and I claimed my free textures. So now I got an endless amount of textures to play with. Up to 8K. But yeah, I think I could, if I had the time, I could probably make something fun out of this. I hid those models that normally go there. Since we got more terrain now to mess with, I was going to just use regular terrain, but I realized, hell, the damn terrain block to this thing is just that one little square. It doesn't go back there. It's possible to make an 8K map out of this. Maybe I ought to do that, since I didn't get the other tutorial done halfway decent. So you got a terrain block. The terrain. Right? Keep in mind the maximum height. I don't know why. I don't think that matters anymore. Keep in mind the maximum height, 384, 640. It should save it after you do it, but you never know. Go to the terrain tools. Terrain painter. Not the terrain painter. I lied. Go to export terrain. And pick the terrain and put the path you want to put it in. I'm going to make a new path for it. I'll just create a new folder. Call it new. And that is where it's going to export this information with the textures and all that good stuff. So we export. It's going to make a new height map based off of this. Now that that's done, we can go to that folder. Levels. No, it's not levels. New. So we have a new height map. We got all new maps. This is one of them times you wish you didn't have all them damn terrain paints down there, because everyone's got to be done. Open the first one up in GIMP or your photo editor of choice. If I had my choice, it wouldn't be GIMP. I just checked into that, man. It's like 20 bucks a month for Photoshop. It don't sound like much, but you add it to the other 20 bucks and the other 20 bucks that come out for all these different things. Man, it adds up quick. All these little $15, $20 fees remind me of the playing Monopoly. All the train stops, you know, them little train stops. They bleed you dry, man. And they wasn't much money each one, but damn, you'd land on them all the time. And if someone's got all four, yeah, it would pretty much put you out. So this is our 4096. You can see here, this was the original map, and this is just that little area that I just tinkered around in. So if you want to make this an 8K, what you'd have to do is change the canvas size. Make it 8192 by 8192, but keep that in the bottom left corner. So it still works correctly. Resize. Make the background black and flatten the image. If you don't have black in the background, it's going to put everything up like a high shelf. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get it back down. Putting it black will make it draw at ground level, the lowest it can go. So just flatten your image, and that'll take care of the canvas size, the border thing there. What's going on, man? Oh, damn it. Overwrite the one that's there with this one. This one you can just hit overwrite, because that is that one. But don't close it yet. What you're going to do now is change this from 16-bit to 8-bit. Mode, grayscale, precision, 8-bit integer. You can only use 16-bit for the height map. and you need to use it for the height map, or you'll get a lot of stair stepping. So now we go to these other images for the other ones. And what I did earlier is I just took all of them and I just dropped them in here with this one. Now, the canvas is already 8K, so they're already where they need to be. I thought they were. I guess they're not. They should be. What the hell happened? How'd that happen? Oh, I did have to move it. That's right. I did. I forgot. Yeah, I did have to move them all. You want to set your lock to edge of canvas so it clicks in place good. I think I got that on. I should have it on. Snap to canvas edge. Now don't worry about flattening it. It should. God damn it! You have to turn all these off. Turn them all off. Now when you save it, it should automatically flatten it. And it's in the right place. So just export as, and then whatever that says, Rock Cliff, that's the one you're overriding. Not Rock Cliff 2, that says Rock Cliff 4. That's what you overwrite. I guess I did export them as PNGs. I meant to do JPEGs, but we'll just leave it like this. And then the next one. That's grass soil. Ah, shit, I forgot to move it. I bet Photoshop you could have a script to do all this for you. We're going to do it one time and it does it for all of them. I mostly want to mess with the AI on Photoshop. I came from a job where I had to manually edit photos and fix things like artistically. Take people out, fix backgrounds, all kinds of stuff like that. They did a lot of the high school yearbooks where I worked at the photo place. They had a graphics department that they had me in. I was the only one in there. So anytime there was a problem, I had to fix it. Which isn't that much work, really. I like the creative part of it, making things like for people. We're like, let's have this, make this, or make that. All right, let me see what I can do. That's grass rubble. Yeah, I guess I like being creative. When I'm not creative and I'm just working, then I'm bored. That's when it feels like work. Some of these tutorials I do for some of you feel like work. They're no fun to do for me. I like fight to stay awake doing some of them. Alright, drinking energy drinks, coffee. Trying to stay up doing some of these. That's Rock Cliff 3. I'm probably not going to do them all. In fact, I'm not going to do them all. I'm going to leave those. Probably ought to do at least the asphalt and grass though. Nah, that's good enough. So where the game's installed, you'll need to get this file. Go to the BeamNG install into the content folder, into levels, find the level West Coast. Now you're going to look for a JSON file in here that's not normally saved in the user folder. It's the one that's got West Coast underscore USA.terrain.json. You'll want to copy that to your clipboard and paste it into your user folder where this level's at. Here, just paste it there. Then you need to open it, and in here you need to tell it to be 8192. Oops. 8192. And then save it. And now, the next thing you got to do is the depth map here. That's got to also be 8K. So you got to scale it like you did the others. If you don't, it's going to harass you constantly for a damn proper depth map in the background. It'll just keep asking until it finds it. Now, white is white. Solid white, you don't sink in at all. But it's black, you sink in up to a certain point. And then you got also, in addition to that, the terrain ground materials that you can sink into some. But from what I can tell, this only affects up to like 5, it's not inches, I don't know what the hell the measurement is, but you know, it's just like just a little bit that you sink in it. But it does make a difference. You'll want to make the rest of it white if you're going to do this. If you make it black, then you'll just sink in all that stuff. Alright, overwrite it. Depth map. Now let's load it and look at our 8K map. So, import terrain. The terrain. What's the max height? 384. I shouldn't have to put any of that, actually. I shouldn't have to do that. All I have to do is load the preset. That's all I should have to do. So in that new folder, it should have exported that. Yeah. And it should set that. Yeah, see, it did set it. Also looking for all these, which I didn't do them all, so I'm not sure what we're going to get. And then we just say import. And what it should do is leave everything just as it is, but add even more ground. It's probably going to take it a bit. I may have to reload it. It may not do it with 8K. Yeah, what's that shit there? That looks like a terrain block. Maybe it's a memory thing. Let's just delete the terrain. Is there 2 terrains? You can have more than one terrain. You just can only have one active at a time. I don't know why you'd want to. That's kind of weird there, man. I can't even pick it. It's not even showing up. So look at the complete scene tree. Is there a terrain? Let's just save it and reload it. You'd be surprised what sometimes a good reload will fix. You may not do it with 8K. I didn't try it yet. Like I said, I only did 2K and 4K. I did Small Island, which was 1K. It became 2K, and then I did this one, which was 2K, and it became 4K. But that's the process you go through. Ah, shit, I gotta do that one too, I bet. I'm not sure what it does, but I've done it with all the other ones, so I probably should do it with this one too. It says whole map or something. Maybe it's the mini map. Not really sure what it does. It may not import it because I didn't do all of them. So, that's possible. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Reoriented this thing. It's not in the right place. Oh, I didn't use the damn... I didn't load the presets, man. So it's just a generic placement. Alright, we'll do it again. Yeah, see, it's a generic placement. Now, if I remembered what the other one was, I could just move it. I can look and see. Probably got it in here. Where it's at. Yeah. Minus 1023.5 minus 1023.5. Yep, that's right. So I got that mountain hidden. That back there, that background. So like that's all 3D model that they made so they could extend the map, make it larger. Which all they had to do is just make it larger like that. Now if I took the time to do that with all the terrain paints, we wouldn't be looking at this. Y'all know that, right? I probably should have just went ahead and did it, but... Alright, so what's the first one on the list? It's grass. I ain't sure if I did that one. I think I was going to, but... Once you put one in, you can delete the warning material, and it'll make all of it, whatever that is. Should make it. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot about that shit. We got to upgrade terrain materials. Anytime you delete the terrain block, instead of importing over the old terrain block, you got to re-update the materials. But they'll still all be there. You just have to re-update it. And you probably have to change the scaling of them again to match what they were before, which was 4096 by 4096 for the base and 1024 for the macro detail. That's a big ass map, man. Oh, it's set. Well, that didn't work. Because I didn't do that one. When I did asphalt, I know I did. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. But that's only showing asphalt everywhere. I'm not sure, is that the one? Yeah, that's mine. So it is drawing the grass. It just took a minute. But you'd have to put them all in. But don't do it that way. I guess maybe if you put them in order. But remember, I didn't do them all, so we have unexpected results. Oh, that's good enough for now. I think y'all get the idea what you got to do anyway. Look how much bigger this map's going to be. That's all terrain block. That's the original map. This is the new West Coast. And of course you can paint that whatever you want to paint it. It's just got the tiled thing from that on there. I mean, if you wanted to just you'd have to scale it. If you wanted something to go down here that just kind of was just something other than that. Like I say, you went to, I don't know, Google Earth and took a picture of the ground from about that high up. Took a screenshot. This is me about right around in there. Somewhere around in, no, there I am. So I'm real close to Atlanta. I'd try like hell not to go there though. I have no reason to go to Atlanta. That's probably about 8K, ain't it? That's 8K. And that would have to be 16. You're trying to make it square. I guess it don't matter which way you go. 16, 8, 16, 24. Yeah. So there's our 8K terrain right there, folks. That would be what that area would look like at 8K above the ground. Damn it. Well, it was right there. But it kind of gives me an idea anyway. And scale it to 8K. Since the map's now 8K. And let's see if I can make it a little sharper or something. Another reason why I don't like mess with 8K, because every little thing takes a long time, no matter what you do to it. And we'll export that in their terrain paints and make it just a basic material with that. Golly, man, come on. Export as. Alright, so we'll just throw it in there. and save it as a JPEG. You can't use DDS, just TPNGs and JPEGs for terrain paints for the PBR anyway. And we just make a new material for our new base material. And I'll be done. I got to do some other stuff, man. I got to get on to that artwork. Got to, man. If I don't get that drawing done by Valentine's Day, it's going to be one shitty Christmas. I mean, shitty Valentine's. Probably a shitty Christmas, too. But it'll be a shitty Valentine's Day. Base texture. Alright, here we go. Oh, I didn't add material yet, dumbass. You gotta add the material before you can add a texture to it. If you don't add it and put it over there, you ain't getting nothing in there. Alright. And we'll duplicate it, put it in the ambient occlusion slot. You gotta have an ambient occlusion. Even if it ain't a proper ambient occlusion, you still gotta have something in there. Now you can add, the scale. Should be 8192, but this is only can do 4096 for the base texture, so I'm not sure how that's gonna do. Yeah, I've never done it that way. And I'll just, let's see, let me just paint real quick, see what we get. Black. I'm going to remove all these others so it makes the whole map that texture. Try and look at it better. I ain't got the patience to wait on that to draw. It may not be, you may not can do it that way. It may have to stay within that. So what you have to do is make this 8192 by 8192. Which that's going to mess all of them up. Because now they all have to be scaled to 8192, the base textures, if you do that. Just keep that in mind. You can do it after the fact, but you about to have hell on your hands, man. Mucho problema. You don't want to do 8K. You damn sure don't want to do 16K. Because if you do, you'll be waiting even longer. Alright, let's look at our damn paint. So, yeah. It's awfully dark. Well, I don't have anything else. I'm using that same dark color as the ambient occlusion. What do you expect? It's not going to do right. It needs to be a lot brighter. Because that is the ambient occlusion. You know what I mean? If it's real dark, it's only going to make the map darker. I tried to get video making that drawing. I'd like to do a time lapse on it and post it. That's actually what this channel was going to be. It was an art channel. I wasn't going to do modding at all. But I found it to be like a new art medium that was very challenging, so I loved it. I stuck to it for 3 years. I should only have to just save it, and it should update it. Even though I didn't really reload it in here. And it takes a bit for 8K to catch up, remember that. I may have to make sure I put it in the right place. I'm gonna give it a different name, so sometimes it caches or some shit, and no matter, it still won't put the right one in there. So I'll give it a new name and put it in there, and it should be fine. It's supposed to be grayscale too, but also there's no fog. So fog lightens up things too, but it shouldn't be that dark. That's a little better. If you really want to, you can do a generic normal map on it. And then what you can do is you can make this a grayscale. Save that. Actually, we already got an AO, so we'll just let's just invert it. All right. But it looks like crap up close, don't it? What'd y'all expect? You took a picture from that high up and it's a crappy resolution, and you scale it to 8K, yeah, it's gonna look bad. That's like PlayStation 1 right there. Oh, that hitching is because the ground model is not, the depth map's not 8K. I bet that's what it's complaining about back there, along with the texture problems. I've got an error. Oh well, folks, I'm done with this. I'm tired. My hands sore from sitting up here on this mouse all day. Time for a nap now.